Hey Earthlings, I'm Barbara. Welcome to my messy room. Today I want to talk to you about New Year's. It's a promise to myself that this year I'm going to take my creative interests seriously. I'm going to actually pursue the things I want in my life. I really want to focus on content creation. And then also today we're going to sew. That's what we're doing today. If you live in the middle of the US, it's freezing where you are right now, currently in the timeline that I'm in. But I have a dog, and they say if you're cold, they're cold. I have a cute jacket. I want my dog to have a cute jacket. So we're making him a sweater. That is the goal today. I bought a pattern from Etsy. I did try to draft one. I thought, how hard could it be? He's a dog. I should be able to draft a pattern on him. No, it was hard. So I decided to just pay somebody else the funds that already did the drafting. But anyway, I've already printed it out and put it together. Now today I'm going to cut out the pattern pieces, make a mock-up. If I'm feeling real good and jazzed, if that goes very smoothly, then I might actually cut out the fabric. We'll see though, because I do have a little bit of fear about cutting into the fabric. Like similar to like when you get a sticker that's really cool.
So you don't want to put it anywhere?
Because then you can't
remove it and put it somewhere else again, you know?
It's like that, but fabric. If you know, you know. Hello, voiceover Barbara here. Just to drop a quick disclaimer that this is not a tutorial. I just want to remind you that I am not a professional. I'm not here to teach you how to do anything. If anything, just to show you the process of a person just trying to learn a new skill all by themselves with the help of Google and, powers that be. But I am not here to show you how to do anything. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just struggling. Okay, so if anything, it's just kind of to watch me fumble through all this and give some inspiration to others who would like to try to learn a new skill. So anyway, I did start by ironing my mock-up fabric, which is just a black muslin that I had lying around. All the instructions say you should wash and iron your fabric before you start doing anything to it, and this fabric is also pre-washed. And that's the only reason why I'm doing it. I'm not sure if it helps. I'm sure that it does help for some reason that is outside of my interest, but that's why I'm doing it. And now I'm just laying out the pattern and I'm tracing the pattern onto the fabric, cutting out those individual pieces. I did find these chalk pencils online, and I just thought, maybe just to give a helpful tip to anybody who finds the texture of chalk absolutely disgusting. These chalk pencils are a good alternative, I think. I am still playing around with my sewing notions, if you will, just trying to figure out what works for me, but I found these to be a good choice as of right now. Anyway, so now I'm starting the pinning process. I did start by pinning the front and back pieces together, and I found this to be pretty difficult for whatever reason. I did notice as I was pinning it together that the leg holes were just way too big, and the body hole, the bottom part, I don't know what this is called, but anyway, it was way too small, and I got really frustrated by this because pinning should be easy. It wasn't for me, so I did take a little break just to regroup and come back to it, and I did unpin the front and back pieces, and I consulted the instructions and just stared at the fabric in confusion longer than I would really like to admit. But I did end up figuring it out, and I moved on to pinning the shoulder and side pieces, and then I just sewed everything together and just went on to the first fitting. So here we are doing our first fitting on Cooper here, and I wasn't able to get both of his legs through the leg holes, and that was really frustrating for me because I did spend so much time trying to figure out how to pin this thing together. It was just also way too baggy and somehow too big and too small, and I just found this very irritating. Didn't realize that I would have to do so much adjustment to fit this onto my dog. And I took that frustration out with my seam ripper and took the whole thing apart again, which you'll see is a continuing theme through this. Anyway, so I'm back to filming what I'm actually doing here, and I just made the very rash decision to cut down the front, right down the middle, and just reflect on that decision for a few minutes. And then I just realized I could just add a 2-inch panel here. So I pinned and sewed the panel into the middle portion of the front piece, and then pin the side and shoulder seams again. And then I did also go ahead and make a quick collar and sewed all of it together. So now we're on to the second fitting. Come here, Cooper.
Good boy.
I don't know anything about Star Wars, but Sith Lord, is that what it's called? But it fits. Hello, welcome to the update and back to my messy room. This is what I've done so far. I completed a mock-up. It fits Cooper pretty well. I need to take it in on the sides, probably about 1 inch to make up where the center panel that I added to the front. Otherwise, it fit really great, went easily on and off of him, and this fabric has a similar stretch as the fabric I plan to use. So today, we're going to cut into the real stuff, the real good stuff, right, sitting right there, and see if we can complete a sweater today. That's the goal. For New Year's, 'tis the season, right? This year in particular, I really want to focus on sewing more. I really want to make my own wardrobe, make my own costumes and things like that. I'm very interested in historical sewing and technical sewing. I really want to be more self-sufficient when it comes to my clothing options, because as a fat person, it's already hard enough to find clothes. So I really want to get into also tailoring and altering clothes and things like that. And the only way to do that is to practice. So over the last year, actually, I bought my first sewing machine right here, hanky boy right there. I've been sewing on and off all year. I haven't really completed anything that's worth wearing or worth sharing, so mostly just practice. I'm trying to be more self-sufficient, more sustainable, and those are kind of the two things I'm really focusing on, as well as sharing that journey with you. Hopefully that gives you a good preview of what's to come, putting low pressure on myself. I'm pretty excited about the project so far. I was really frustrated initially because I made the mock-up and then it didn't fit. I had a little meltdown about it, and then I came back and I fixed it, and I was able to adjust the pattern to suit my pup, and that was really exciting. I feel like I'm going in the right direction, and I should be able to put it together fairly quickly today. Thanks for watching so far in the video, always appreciate that. Put on my headphones, zone out, cut out this fabric, and sew it together. Okay, so we're back from that second fitting, and as you notice in the footage, I was able to get both leg holes, or both legs through the leg holes, so that was very exciting for me. There was probably some more adjustment I could have made, but I didn't want to do that, so maybe next time. So I did start by taking apart the mock-up, just the sleeves and the collar piece here. I realize now why people skip mock-ups, because you just end up taking it apart, and it just seems like a lot of effort for just to trash it. But anyway, I'm just making some adjustments to the pattern here. So I did decide to add that additional 2 inches to the front piece, and it is meant to be cut on the fold. And as you can see here, I did draw a diagonal. And if I was using my smart little brain, I would have realized that you can't cut something on the fold on a diagonal because there will be no fold. Yeah, but that's definitely an issue for future me, and we'll come back to it later. I did make some adjustments to the sleeves, and in hindsight, it wasn't enough of an adjustment. I should have made them much longer and wider. It worked out. It's fine. So now it's time to cut the fashion fabric. And, you know, I did think I would panic a little bit, but I didn't. I just cut right into it. So that's good. I did end up pinning the paper fabric to the edge of this close to the selvage edge as I could, and then I folded it where it needed to be folded. And then I did cut the fabric following the line that just so lovingly provided by this plaid pattern, which I did definitely appreciate. I did want to talk about something real quick though. I've noticed through watching a lot of people who sew online that they cut their fabric out on the floor. And while I would love to be a member of the Floor Troll Club, my joints just will not allow that. So back to cutting the fabric pieces. Here I did realize my mistake from before when I was adjusting that pattern, and I did correct this by just going ahead and cutting it with a full 2 inches all the way down instead of tapering it. And I did mark that diagonal line where I wanted it to be, and I instinctually made a pleat, so that was pretty exciting. But I did just kind of guess how to make a pleat, so I don't really know what I was doing here. It's probably wrong. I'm sure you'll let me know in the comments. Proud of the fact that I instinctually came up with this pleat idea. Now I'm just struggling again with pinning the front and back pieces of this dog sweater together, and I don't know why it looks so weird to me. When I was looking over the instructions and looking at my fabric, I just couldn't envision how they were supposed to go together. But again, I did figure that out and I pinned it together. And Hank needed his bobbin refilled, so I went ahead and did that and threaded the machine. And I did a little bit of a sew test here just to make sure that my stitches looked nice. And then we just started sewing. So here's where I made a mistake. I just sewed this as close to the edge as I could when I really should have followed the seam allowance. And I don't know why I did this. I guess I was worried that it would be too small and I'd have to remake it. But the joke's on me is that it was way too big and I had to remake it. You know, for future me, when I'm making future projects, seam allowance, my friend. Let's try it. I don't know. All right, so now it's just time for the check-in. I will allow on-camera Barbara to explain the next part of the video to you. See you soon. I want to give an update of where I am so far. Ended up just putting a dart down the center seam here, so it could be 2 additional inches here and then tapered down because my dog is broader in the chest than he is in his stomach. Turned out really nice. Now, should I have cut the dart straight down the center of the plaid? Probably, but I did. I'm excited to have completed a project that I can show everybody. I always go way too fast in the beginning. It's It's like I have a lead foot until I get used to it. It's very annoying. Went steady, went steady. This line is not straight. I'm too tired. I just really want to finish it. Oh no, it's not sewing together. Is my bobbin out? What is happening? No. How's my bobbin out? I just filled it. You can't be out. You can't be out. I don't believe you. Ugh. I'm so annoyed right now. One of these days, it's like a USB. Just put it on the wrong direction. You can just... Oh my god. The universe is telling me to stop. Ugh, where'd it go? Excuse me. Bobbin. That is so frustrating. But I know I have more bobbins somewhere. I'm so annoyed. I have a whole case of them, and now I don't know where they are. Oh my god, every bobbin I find has... I'm gonna freak out. I really don't want to get on the floor. Just me having a mild meltdown. Trying to find a bobbin. Ha. Move the grandma chair. Is this quality content? Oh my god. They don't make like they used to. Yeah. Ooh. Hank gets a little bit squeaky when it's bobbin gets too full. So we take that as a sign. Come on. There we go. Alright, Hank. We're so close to being done. I have like 2 more things to do. I'm tired, you're tired, but we gotta get through it. It's okay. This takes other people a day. And while I'm not comparing myself to others, I definitely don't want a 1-day project to take me 4 days. Hank! Henry! This is the part that no one shows you when your machine just decides to act like it's never sewn anything in its life. Oh, I already unpinned it too. Oh my god, I hate that. I'm so mad right now. Alright, we're just gonna
Hold it together right here.
That's all anyone can ask for. Just do the best you can. What's love got to do? Got to do with it. I need to stop. This is the last thing I'm doing tonight, and I'll just I'm too tired to keep going. My threshold is lower than nothing. I did a lot today, though. A lot of redoing. Oh, come on, Hanky boy. No, too big. You got it. There you go. Good enough. Good enough. Yay! Ah, it's coming together. I think I'll take a break, rehydrate, lay down, see how I feel afterwards. Hi, update, not the reveal again. Last night, I sewed the arm lengths. I didn't do the best job. I should have checked where my seams were landing. Sewed in the neck. I had to cut it out because I sewed it inside out, so that was disappointing and frustrating. But I'm glad that I did that, and by the time I finished it, I was like, you need to stop. You're getting goofy. So today, I really want to focus on making cuffs for the sleeves with some salvaged elastic that I have here, and then hemming the back of it. I think I am going to take one of these sleeves out. They should be in the right spots now that I'm rested and not quite caffeinated yet. Let's fix that. I don't know what they put in that, but they should stop. So I'm going to take the sleeves out, I guess. Maybe this is the time to do correction because I do really want it to look nice. I'm taking this thing apart and putting it back together again. We'll see how I feel about it. Alright, so I thought it would be good to show you some detail shots of the sleeves and side seams so you can see why I did decide to, you guessed it, take it apart again. I think this is the 3rd or 4th time I've done it, and it probably isn't the last. I don't know. I did this a while ago. But anyway, so on the sleeves, as you probably can see here, that I didn't pay attention to where the seams were facing when I pinned in the sleeves. And I really think this is because I was focusing really hard on getting the sleeves actually in the arm's eye, because it's hard. It was hard for me. But I did learn for future projects to pay attention to where your seams are facing. Otherwise, you'll have one going one way and one going the other, and we need them to be somewhat uniform just for the comfort of wearing. What a concept there. But those seams did look terrible, and then the side seams especially, because as you know, I did sew this without any seam allowance. And when I realized it was too big, instead of seam ripping the seams out, I just cut them out because they were, the way the front and back was sewed together, it was a little awkward for me to seam rip, and I just thought it'd be easier to cut it out. That's again what I get for cutting corners here. Don't do that unless, you know, it's in the instructions. Look, I'm talking like I know anything about I watch a lot of sewing content, so I do know you have to cut corners. Anyway, that's beside the point. So I did end up seam ripping everything apart again and sewing it all back together again. I'm gonna offer just a little quick break in all this talking and time lapse and give you some sewing ASMR if you're into that sort of thing. If you're not, here's a timestamp that you can skip to so you can get back to me talking, I guess. Okay, just kidding about the ASMR. Hank's needle broke. You know, I really just need to take a break at this moment anyway. I just need to step away from the project. And when I got back from that break, I decided that Hank was having a little bit of a hard time doing his one and only job. Relatable. Hank and I are one and the same. So I did decide that he probably needed to be cleaned. Wow. Magical cuffs appeared with elastic in them. Magic! Hello. So I finished it, and when I went to put it on Cooper, the cuffs are too small to go over his little puppy paws. It's kind of okay though because they don't look that great. Not the best. So I measured his puppy paw, and I just need it to be 6 inches wide to fit over. So I'm going to cut these out and do them again. Oh my gosh, I'm very close, and I want to get it done. I just want him to wear it. I'm learning. I'm a beginner. I'm very new, and I don't know how to do most things, and there's no one here to show me how or to stop me when I'm doing something wrong. It's 10 o'clock now, so I don't think I'm gonna finish this tonight, and I've learned this experience that if I'm feeling tired and goofy, I need to stop, because that's when I start making dumb mistakes, like sewing in the arms crooked and inside out. Alright, so I'm gonna get to cutting and go back to my audiobook. I guess we're on to the montage now. I did it. It's done. I did it. Ah. Let's see if it fits. Hello, and welcome back to my messy room, and this is the review of the project. Gonna kind of go over, you know, what I think about how I did and all that fun stuff. I have it here. I have the dog sweater. It is complete. It is done. Cooper's been wearing it for probably about 2 weeks now, and I just washed it because it was time. It fits great. He seems to enjoy wearing it. It seems to be keeping him warm, which is the end goal of this project. But I did want to kind of go over what I thought I did well, what I thought I could work on. So as far as craftsmanship, I think it's holding up pretty well. It survived the wash, survived Cooper wearing it, being a dog in it, going outside and all that. So that is all good. There are some things I would have done differently. One being the collar part or the snood, I don't know, turtleneck, I don't know what you want to call it. I think the neckline is a bit too wide for him, and I maybe done more of like a shape like this and then folded over the top layer of the collar and then sewed the seam there. I think that would have been a much cleaner finish, and it would have fit a little bit better to him and would have made a better like hood effect that I was kind of going for. Also, you know, the collar isn't the best part of it. I did deviate from the instructions, and if I'd done what the instructions said, it would have been better, but I didn't want to cut another collar out and waste fabrics. As you probably saw towards the end of making this, I was done with this project. I was tired. I didn't care to keep going. So I kind of half-assed the sleeves here. The first thing is there is elastic here, but it's kind of useless considering I really needed the elastic where the cuff and the sleeve meet. It's a little tight there. I could probably use about 1/4 of an inch more wiggle room. It does fit. It's not too tight. It doesn't seem to be rubbing or causing any issues with his skin or anything, so I'm not too worried about it. But if I were to do it again, I would have made the sleeve all the way as long as I wanted it to, because it is also a little bit too short for his legs. It's just not the best job I could have done. Also, the dart that I added in, I think it really helped to tailor it a little bit more and give it a little more of a fitted look. It is still a bit too big, so I would have started the dart a little bit higher, make it look a little more fitted, a little more couture, if you will. It does still fit. It seems to give him a good range of movement, and he's still able to be comfortable in it, and that's what's important, so it's not that big a deal to fix. Something I am proud of is the back of it, where it lays against his back. The seam on here looks stunning. It looks very crisp and clean, and it just gives a very nice professional end to the garment, and I just savory, very delicious, satisfying. Every time I look at it, it just makes me very, very happy. He's very comfortable in it. He's able to go outside, do his doggy business as normal. He's able to go up and down the stairs, jump on the couch, do whatever dogs do. Seeing him wear it around the house and just be cozy in it, and just seeing something that I made all the time, because I'm constantly with my dog, just makes me so happy, and it makes me feel very proud of my work. It makes me feel like I can actually do this. I can actually sew things. I've learned a lot, and I can definitely make some adjustments for that new sweater that I make him in the future. I would say at this point in time, I would give myself a solid B on this project, which isn't too bad. Enjoyed this video. I'd really appreciate if you could subscribe, give me a like, hit the notification bell. You can see my next video because I do have another project planned using this plaid right here. Now, I'm not gonna make all my projects out of plaid. I just happen to be putting off this project. I think that's it. I think that's all I have to say. I think I'm done. I'm happy that you're here and that you've been watching the video and hanging out with me. And I hope it inspires you to maybe make the pet in your life a wonderful clothing garment. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.